What's up guys and welcome back to the channel, and in today's video I am going to be predicting the top 15 of every UFC division and the pound for pound list at the end of 2025. That's right, I did do this video last year and my predictions were pretty shit, to be honest. I predicted way too many fighters to just drop off like way more than they were ever going to, and there were some definitely laughable predictions in that video, but we're going to do it better today. We're going to be more accurate, and we are going to accurately predict the top 15 of every division, starting with flyweight, going all the way up to heavyweight, and including the pound for pound list too. This will be a pretty long video, I assume, because I just yap, that's what I do. But anyway, let me know in the comments which placements you agree or disagree with. Who do you think is going to end the year very high ranked, or who do you think is going to have a massive fall off as well? But without further ado, let's get underway and start off with the flyweight division. So, flyweight division, let's just start off by reading through the UFC flyweight rankings. Obviously, the champion Pantoja, but Royval is the number one ranked flyweight. Moreno, Albazi, Kai France, Tatsuro Taira, Manel Cap, Alex Perez, Asu Elmabayev, Steve Erceg, Tim Elliott, Tagir Ulanbekov, Charles Johnson, Bruno Silva, Kai Asakura, and Joshua Van. Now, so that is the rankings of the flyweight division. That's what they sit out right now. Now let's read through my rankings, and I will sort of justify some of these selections. So I do believe Pantoja will remain champion by the end of the year. I am pretty confident that will happen. But I'm gonna actually, maybe I should go 15 to 1. So 15, Alessandro Costa. 14, Alex Perez. 13, Charles Johnson. 12, Amir Albazi. 11, Tagir Ulanbekov. 10, Ramazan Temirov. 9, Joshua Van. 8, Kaya Sakura. 7, Asu Elmabayev. 6, Steve Erceg. 5, Tatsuro Taira. 4, Kai France. 3, Brandon Moreno. 2, Brandon Roval. 1, Manel Cap. Now, this is extremely fucking random, and I really don't have any justification for most of these placements. I do think Cap's going to beat Royval. That is a prediction that I have. I'm not confident in it, but I just have a feeling we might finally see Cap actually be consistent and win a like back-to-back fights. But apart from that, what really stands out, I wonder? I mean, I have Albazi dropping off considerably. I just think Albazi's mid as fuck, and I don't see him winning. Now, this will probably be a case where he ends up at like number 7, and this was just way overshooting it, but I don't like Albazi anyway, so fuck him. But who else? You know, Josh Van, Alex Perez as well. I just don't think he's going to fight very much. I think he'll just get passed up. I think Erceg's going to beat Elmabayev. That's why I have him finishing higher than him in the rankings by the end of the year. I do think Kaya Sakura, I don't know who will fight, but I do think they'll give him a higher ranked fighter again. So maybe he wins, maybe he loses, but I don't think he'll just continue losing. So I think at least one of his wins will be someone higher ranked. Josh Van, I think, is going to continue to climb the rankings. It's tough, though, because I also do have Tim Elliott exiting the rankings. I have Bruno Silva exiting the rankings as well. So I am going to be predicting a few retirements slash a few fighters who are just going to kind of get kicked out. Matt Schnell, I don't think he's ranked anymore. But like, I don't know who else I'm trying to think. Charles Johnson is chilling. Ramazan Temirov, I think he's going to have a pretty good year. I think he might beat Charles Johnson as well. But I don't know, flyweight, it's tough. Makayev, the only reason I don't have him is just because the UFC, the site won't let you put him on the like in these rankings format. So I just did it for convenience purposes. But apart from that, look, none of them are that confident. Yes, there's some other prospects like Lazy Boy could be ranked, but it's like with that back end, it's like who knows? Like there'll be I think every division you can say is going to at least have a few new faces enter the rankings. It's just difficult to know who the fuck that's going to be. Like Lazy Boy's one of them. Lona Kavanagh's pretty solid. Felipe Dos Santos, he's kind of mid. Andre Lima's pretty good. Like there's some great fighters at flyweight on the come up. So it's hard to tell who's going to be ranked, but that's my predictions. We'll see. Anyway, let's move on though to the Bantamweight division. So, Bantamweight division, interesting. I am predicting straight away you're going to look and be like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Because I've got a few fighters exiting the rankings because I do think we're going to see some retirements slash some fighters who kind of just fall out of the rankings. I don't think we see Jose Aldo fight past 2025. I think he'll retire. I think Rob Font is getting up there, pack it up. Kyler Phillips, I just think he's mid. So yeah, you can pack it up as well, buddy. Who else did I get rid of? I'm not even sure. I think Ayman Zahabi Yeah, bro, it took you until you're 37 years of age. Like, get out the rankings. Like, it took bro until he was 37 to become a ranked fighter. Like, it's over for you. You've got no future. But now the arrow there that you'll see is because I do think Umar is going to end the year as champion. I haven't placed that in the right spot. I don't know what the fuck I was doing. But that's just me indicating a swap between Marab and Umar because the website, it lets you change the rankings, but it won't let you change the champion with this like mock template thingy. But right now you can read the rankings on screen for yourself. Who have I who have I kicked out else? Yeah, I think Phillips, Aldo, Rob Font, Henry Cejudo as well. I think a little midget is getting up out of there. But apart from that, I've got some fighters climbing the rankings. I've got some fighters entering the rankings, obviously in replacement of those who are leaving. But yeah, I think Yarn's going to beat O'Malley if they fight, so that's why I've got Yarn above O'Malley. Apart from that, I think Song Yadong will climb a few spots. I think Cheeto Vera is going to drop off a bit. Vinicius Oliveira, let me tell you about this kid, Vinicius Oliveira. This kid's badass. Um, I think he's going to beat Said Nurmagomedov, hopefully, and I think he'll have a big 2025. I think he's going to look good. Who else? Montel Jackson, I rate him if he can actually get in the cage. I think he should have some success. Marcus McGee, I don't think he's very good, but I think he's just going to climb the rankings via fighters leaving. Peyton Talbot, I think they'll just give him stylistically good matchups. Like I could see them doing like him versus like Rob Font, not next after Barcelos, but like one fight from then to get him ranked. Fareed Basharat, I don't know. I'm just picking random fucking unranked fighters at this point. Like, he's not there, but like Taylor Lapilus is another one I could see being ranked. Said Nurmagomedov kind of floats in and out of the rankings. Jonathan Martinez, I don't have here, but he could be a good shout. Bautisto, I wanted to kick him out, but I reckon he'll stick around the lower end. Who else? Like Gene Matsumoto, I've got there. That's not even like him in particular. That's just filler. I wanted to put Felipe Lima, but because neither of his fucking fights have been a bantamweight, they don't let you put him in the bantamweight rankings. So that's quite annoying. But yeah, Felipe Lima, I would actually put him in place of Gene Matsumoto, but yeah, the website won't let me do it. But apart from that, I don't know. I've got some kind of interesting placements. Nothing too crazy, I don't think. I think Figgy still sticks around. I wouldn't even be surprised to see like like a Figgy retirement, maybe even a Cheeto Vera, like just fall off and just kind of dips. I don't know. But yeah, that's my bantamweight predictions. Let's move on though to the. I am predicting Umar to end the US champ. So if you're confused about what that misplaced arrow is, that's supposed to be more towards Umar than than Yarn. So it looked kind of weird, but anyway, let's move on though to the featherweight division. So featherweight division, this is another interesting one where I am predicting some fighters to either retire or leave the division. Now, champion obviously Ilya Top Toro. But the major changes I have here, I'm not going to actually, I will read out the whole thing. Dan Ige, Bryce Mitchell, Doohoo Choi, Giga Chikadze, Steve Garcia, Sean Woodson, Lerone Murphy, Yusuf Salal, Yair Rodriguez, Gene Silva, Aljamain Sterling, Arnold Allen, Alexander Volkanovski, Movsar Evlov, Diego Lopez, Ilya Topuria. So that is my prediction for the rankings at the end of the year. Some notable changes. Obviously, not a crazy take to say that Holloway won't be ranked next year at featherweight. He's moving up. That's a pretty safe bet. Ortega, up on out of there, buddy. He's probably going to move up to lightweight and just get killed and then not go back down to featherweight. So he can get out the rankings. Barboza, you're going to get KO'd by Steve Garcia. Sorry, buddy. Who else am I? Who else is leaving? I don't even know. I think Josh Emmett. I'm predicting a Josh Emmett retirement. Um, what else am I predicting? I'm not even sure, to be honest with you. I don't even know, to be honest. Kelvin Cater, he's gone too. Get on out of there. You're going to lose to Yusuf Zalal. So yeah, that's some of my major predictions. Gene Silva, I think he's going to have a pretty big 2025. I think he's going to beat Melsick and then get a top ranked. I could see Josh Emmett being like that, his last fight being Gene Silva, and he just takes a beating and then just retires, and realizes that you can't just big meaty hooks his way to a fucking interim title shot for the second time. Sean Woodson, Steve Garcia, Giga Chikadze, oh not Giga, but like Woodson, Garcia, Choi, I think he'll get back into the rankings because he looked great against Nate Landwehr. I think expect Yusuf Zalal, Gene Silva, expect some of these guys as prospects to have a great 2025. I do believe so. Jack Jenkins, another good shout. Burrito, I would love to say Burrito's becomes ranked, but I just don't know why. I think they just hate him for some reason. Like this dude was on like a five-fight finish streak, and they gave him William Gomez in Paris, and he lost a robbery decision. Like I don't know. I think Burrito's just doomed to never fucking become ranked. He's just always gonna have a win over Diego Lopez, but never get the chance to actually prove that he's a top level fighter. But yeah, those are my rankings for featherweight. Let me know what you guys think. Are those crazy takes? Like, I don't think Ortega leaving is a crazy take. Maybe I'm a bit too premature with some of these retirement talks with like a Josh Emmett or a Kelvin Cater. But I still think it's not crazy to say that these guys leave or they just get kicked out the ranking. Like they lose fights and just move down. Um, Anyway, let's move on though to the lightweight division. So, lightweight division, this is another one where I have some interesting sort of placements and some changes, some fighters who are going to leave. And you're going to notice a whole lot of new names in the rankings at that bottom end. And that's because I'm predicting some retirements. I'm predicting a Dustin Poirier retirement. I am predicting a Michael Chandler, either exodus of the division or a retirement, which is probably unrealistic because he's still going to be sticking around till 2029 to try and fight Conor when he's 44. Um, and who else am I? Dariush. I think Dariush is going to get up on out of there. I think BSD is not going to retire, but he's going to fall out the rankings. Jalen Turner either move up to welterweight or he's just going to lose because he's just anorexic at lightweight. But yeah, I'm predicting a few fighters to leave. Now, am I making like, is it some fucking like fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me type shit, or vice versa, whatever the fuck that is? I don't know. Anyway, is that just me doing the same thing twice and expecting a different result? Perhaps, potentially. But I am pretty confident that we see some of these fight like retire. Even a Gaethje, I was tempted to chuck a Gaethje retirement in there. If he loses to like a Dan Hooker, right? But I think he beats Dan Hooker. But yeah, my rankings: Ignacio Bahamondes, Ludovic Klein, Mateusz Raumbetsky, Fares Siam, Grant Dawson. Those are some five names who you'll see at the bottom there that I think are going to have some good years. In 2025, Mateusz Gamrot, Paddy Pimlich, Danuka Izmani. Let me tell you about this kid, Joel Alvarez. This kid is badass. Rafael Fiziev Moicano. I think Moicano's going to beat Dariush, have a big year, get another big name under that resume. Holloway or Gaethje, then Holloway, then Oliveira, then Sayukin, then Makhachev. It's interesting because I am kind of going back on what I said in my predicting champs video, where I was like, okay, Islam's going to potentially move up to welterweight if Shavkat wins. I don't know. I just don't think we'll see Islam officially like out of the lightweight rankings, like go on from lightweight, even if he does move up. So I think we see Islam end the year as champ, obviously. Arman, Charles, I think if those two rematch 5 rounds, kind of depends how Islam or how Arman looks against Islam. I kind of favour Charles, but I just for some reason have a feeling he won't end the year higher in the rankings. Maybe they just don't do that fight again. And we know it's very difficult to get over someone in the rankings if you don't fight them, if they don't lose, unless it's like to someone way lower down. But yeah, those are my predictions for lightweight. Some interesting ones, but like yeah, for SEM's fighting Mike Davis in Saudi Arabia, I think he could win that. If he loses that though, then put Mike Davis in there because he's real good. Even same with Grant Dawson, he's fighting Carlos Diego Ferreira. If he loses that, then replace that. Like these are all just replacements for like if they lose their next fight, then put their opponent in their spots instead. Like if Diego Ferreira beats Grant Dawson, he will be ranked for sure. If Mike Davis beats Ziam, he'll be ranked for sure. I was tempted to put like a Esteban Ribovic, but I don't think he'll get the opportunity to fight a ranked guy. I think Joel Alvarez, they're going to get behind him. I think he's going to have a big fight in Spain when they go there eventually. But yeah, those are my lightweight predictions. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. Probably one of my divisions where I had the most changes in terms of new fighters in the rankings. Anyway, let's move up to welterweight though. So, welterweight division. Now, this is another one where you guys are going to laugh at me and be like, left lane, you're glazing, bro, doing tricks on it, man. Let me tell you about this kid, CP. I love CP. No, chill. But also, again, with the arrow, because this swapping Bilal and Shavkat, because this website doesn't let you change who the champion's going to be. But I do believe that Shavkat will end the year as champion. I've kind of had a change of heart. I originally thought Bilal might beat, or either Bilal or Shavkat would win, and then Pratas would KO the winner. I still think that happens. No. But yes, I think if it's Shavkat, Pratas could KO him. But I don't think he'll get the opportunity. Now, when I made my video saying Pratis has a decent chance of beating Shavkat if he gets the opportunity for the belt, that was when I was under the assumption that he might be fighting like Leon just because he posted something on his story. Um, I'm assuming that's not going to happen now. It seems like JDM's fighting Leon in London main event or like a Sean Brady Leon Edwards. So if either of those happen and Prates has to fight like two more times, which is does like he should have to fight more than once before he gets a fucking title shot. Like he should have to fight like two, three more times. So if he does go that route, I don't think he'll get the opportunity, but I still think he'll end the year in that top five. I'll say top three. And even though last year's video that I did was terrible when I tried to predict the champions for every or the top 15 for every division, one of my best calls was saying that Diego Lopez, who was currently unranked at the time, was going to end up in the top five. That was one of my best predictions, and I'm doing a similar thing here with Prates. Currently ranked like number 13, I'm predicting him to end the year number two. Um, so yeah, there you go. Of course, in that same video, I did say BSD was going to end the year as the number one ranked lightweight, but we moved past that. But yeah, apart from that, that's about 2 minutes of Prates talk. I do think JDM's going to do well. I think he will beat Usman, and yes, I have been calling JDM slightly overrated. Calling someone overrated doesn't mean I don't think they beat top five fighters. I still think he beats Usman and Leon right now. Maybe he loses to Leon, but I think Leon and Usman are both pretty good matchups for him in terms of their current Usman's current condition. But Bilal Shavkat, I'll do a video breaking that down when it actually gets announced officially and closer to the date. But yeah, I think Shavkat's going to edge that out. Sean Brady, Buckley, I think they'll around stay where they are. Who else? Like a Michael Morales, I think he'll move up a little bit, even though I do think he is kind of mid. But guys who I think are leaving, Usman, Osman, Kamado Osman, he's going to go. I reckon we're going to see Wonderboy leave. I think we're going to see Michael Venom Page leave. I think whether retire or just move up to 85 if he beats Shara. Um, who else is going to leave? Colby's going to move down. Burns is going to move down. Well, I think we're going to see some fighters dip from the welterweight rankings, and I think we're going to see some new faces brought in. We're going to see like a Gabriel Bonfim. We're going to see a Brian Battle, a Randy Brown. These are the guys who are going to be at that lower end. Luca is going to stick around, hopefully, for his sake. But I do think we're going to see some fighters stick around at that lower end of the welterweight division. Or, sorry, enter the lower end. Um, Oh, I don't know why that sounds weird. But yeah, I think Colby's dropping off. I think Burns is going to continue to drop off a little bit. I think both of them are going to lose probably the next two fights, honestly. But apart from that, yeah, that'll do it for welterweight. Like Ian Gary stays around where he is. It's kind of difficult to know because, again, you have no fucking clue of the matchups that are going to be booked. Like, for all I know, Prates gets booked against fucking Leon Edwards in a number and he gets ranked number one. And then I'm a genius. Or he just gets randomly injured and can't fight the whole year. Like, that's how this could turn out. We don't know. Michael Morales could fucking lose his next fight to Gilbert Burns. Who knows? Um, See, that's the thing about these predictions. They're quite difficult to do. Anyway, let's move on though to the middleweight division. So, middleweight 185. I'm predicting Hamzat Chimaev to end the year as champion again using the arrow because the website is retarded. But not crazy changes here, but a few. Like Strickland, I think he's going to stick around. I think he'll lose to Drickus, but I don't think he'll lose much more than that. But like Amavov, I think is going to beat Izzy. There's some retirements here. There's some potential. I've got Izzy leaving the division slash retiring. I've got Jared Cannonier retiring as well. I've got Michelle Pereira, obviously, Sharon Magomedov, them both going to leave the rankings. I think MVP will get ranked at some point, but probably either just retire or lose after that. Or maybe go back down to 170, who knows? But like, I think Kaya Bahalio is going to beat Whitaker if they fight. I just think Whitaker's going to not like drop off, because I don't think he'll have that many fights next year, but like I think he'll look a bit mid. Anthony Hernandez and Gregory Rodriguez, I'm predicting both of them to have a bit of a jump up. Robocop's already booked against Cannonier. I think he's going to win by finish, so that'll immediately get him pretty close to where I have him ending up. Allen versus Hernandez is booked. I think Hernandez is going to win that. Marvin Vittori, who knows when that Orc is going to fight again. Took a year off, so I'm just going to predict the track of Vittori's career, which has been dropping one or two spots in the rankings despite not even fighting, just because he hasn't done anything. Costa, Hermanson, those guys, we're going to get our annual Jack Hermanson fight probably in about April, and then we're going to not see him again until June of 2026. That's how Jack Hermanson works. He's a great guy. But Roman Kopylov, Joe Pyfer, Ikram, I think all those three. I think I had all of them in my rankings going into 2024, and none of them paid off because Kopylov lost to Hernandez immediately. Pfeiffer lost to. This was very quickly turned to shit because Kopylov and Pfeiffer both lost immediately in February, and then Ikram got slept by Whitaker. But I think Ikram's going to beat Muniz. I think Pfeiffer is going to KO Gastelum, and I think Kopolov's going to beat up Curtis. So all of them are booked. They're all booked against not top 15 guys, but guys who can probably get them a top 15 fight after that performance. Apart from that, who knows? Who knows? Luke, fucking Roman Kopylov here. He's a bit of a bum, but no, who knows? Middleweight, Bo Nickel ain't getting ranked for anyone who's asking. If I see any Bo Nickel comments, I'm perma-banning you from my chat. If I ever see you in a live stream. But I don't know who else. Dolidze's a bum. He's going to drop off. But anyone else? Let me look at the rankings here. Nothing crazy. I don't think middleweight's a crazy take. Last year I had some awful. I had like Joe Pyfer and like Ikram ending up like top 10. So I'm gonna tone it back a bit. And yes, it might be. Last year I had Cannonier not even retiring, but still ending up like at like number 14. That was a dumb take. Even though I did lose twice, but I forget that you only get moved down like one spot. Like if you lose to someone, no, you don't. You don't move down 4 spots. You move down below them, and that's it. And it's like impossible. Like Usman's been holding on to like a top 3 welterweight ranking since fucking 2021. Like, that little Malteser head has not won a fight since fucking Joe Biden could string a sentence together. Like, it's been a while since Usman's won a fight. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Anyway, let's move on to the light heavyweight division. So light heavyweight, again, no really crazy takes here. I do think we see a few retirements. I think Jan Blachowicz is going to dip. I think Anthony Smith is going to officially dip and leave the rankings. Not many other people though. Johnny Walker is either going to just leave and go to fucking GFL and fight. Johnny Walker's going to GFL and fight in Rebellis to Spain. That's just what's happening. The script has been leaked. I've seen it already. Or he'll go up to heavyweight and probably get chinned. But I think Johnny Walker will be out of the rankings, or like at least like number 14, 15 by the end of the year. Apart from that, no real crazy takes, honestly. I do think Pereira remains the champ. I do think he beats Ankalaev. I think Ankalaev is too retarded. Like, he's not inbred in the good way, like Islam and Khabib, where it works. Like, it works for him, right? But in terms of not the grappling inbred. Like, he's inbred in terms of just his looks, but he's just an average striker. Like, he's a good striker, and he's got wrestling in his back pocket. Like, he's not special in any way. Am I wrong for saying that? Like, is Ankalaev like phenomenal in any area? Where like you cannot stand with Ankalaev, or you can't even grapple with Ankalaev. Like, nah, he's just good at everything. But I don't think he'll use his grappling against Pereira. So I think Pereira beats him. But Yuri over Hill, I think that's just a hope and optimism pick because I don't want to be picking Jamal Hill in a fight because I hate him. Khalil, I think, will continue from his good performance against Pereira as long as he doesn't just drop off and have a Reyes type downfall. But I think he'll do well. I think he'll continue his rise. The reason why I was gonna have Azam Mazakhanov higher because I rate him pretty well, but he recently got suspended for 6 months for roids, so I'm not going to predict him to climb the rankings as much as initially I probably would have. But who else? Zhang Mingyang, Umar Sai, I think both of those two are great prospects. I consider them both pretty high level. Them two will be around the top for a minute in about 3-4 years' time. Ibo Aslan, I think is mid, but I still think he'll be ranked because I think he's fighting Kutalaba next. That'll go well for him probably. And then Magomed Gadjizulov, that's just I got rid of Alonzo Menefield because I just think he's too retarded to succeed in the sport. Like Jacoby maybe could get back there. Vitor Petrino's moving up to fucking heavyweight, which is interesting. Ryan Span's moving up to heavyweight. Kennedy's moved up to heavyweight. So we're gonna see. I would love to just like get rid of Rakic and say he's moving up too, but he won't because he's dumb. Like again, how are the black fighters like being intelligent in this case? Like how are they displaying like basic thought and fucking logic? No, but I don't know. I light heavyweight, Reyes, Gushkov, I think they'll both jump up a little bit. Krylov will just not even fight probably for a whole another year. He's back out to war. Got to go fight for his country. Who knows? Anyway, yeah, light heavyweight, it's interesting. Not a bunch of crazy changes. I think we'll just see a few more prospects enter the top 15. Maybe we see a few Apex fraud checks here and there, like a fucking we get an Ebo Aslan Forchek, which I will predict at some stage. Like he would lose to like a Volkanovs to me pretty comfortably, in my opinion. Um, but yeah, that's light heavyweight. Pretty interesting one. Let me know your takes of for light heavyweight. But anyway, let's move on though to the heavyweight division. So heavyweight, fat boys. Fat boys. We got some fat boys right here. Heavyweight, who's gonna drop off? Who's retiring? I don't think many people are retiring. I think Ty's gonna go off to fucking BKFC. I was gonna say GFL, but like, nah, he's just off to BKFC. More so the KFC part. But who else? I don't think anyone else is really gonna retire. I think Jones will stick around because he wants to still be relevant. I think he'll lose to Aspinall if he fights him. If he fights Pereira, he'll probably end the year as champ and just continue to be a duck. But Volkov, I think, right will be served. He will end up above Garn. Almeida beats Spivak. I reckon he'll end up a few spots higher. Pavlovich, I think, beats Rosenstrike. Blades will beat Kanaev. Um, yeah, as I said, heavyweight's not much movement. I think that's probably the closest to the current rankings that I'm going to have out of any of these divisions. Kennedy Nzechukwu, I think, will continue his little rise at heavyweight as a contender there. Derek Lewis, Delima, Gaziev, Parkin, they'll probably stick around where they are. Ryan Spann, I wanted to have him higher, but again, he can't be added as a heavyweight yet, which is annoying. Otherwise, I'd probably end up having him like top like 8, top 9 above like a Tybora. Um, like I could see Span beating a Tybora. He's retarded, but I still could see him winning. So it's interesting there. I've got Span and Kanaev both there because they could probably both scrape the top 15. More so, Span will probably end up top 10 if he like gets the fights because he's fighting Waldo Cortez Acosta. If he wins that, give him like a Spivak. Like he'll probably win that. But like Kanaev, he'll probably still end up ranked. But like who else? The Tafa brothers, like Mo Usman, like Chris Barnett. Like it's washed. Heavyweight is unbelievably washed. So I don't have much hope for that division. Anyway, let's finish off with the pound for pound list. Guys, let me tell you about John Jones. This kid is number one pound for pound. Dana, he just got KO'd by Aspinall. Listen, kid, you do not deserve to be doing any of the fucking rankings ever if you do not think that John Jones is pound for pound number one. I don't care if he lost to us. Look at what this guy's done throughout his career. Look at how he beat OSP. Who does that to OSP? No. But no, I think it'll stay similar at the top, but we will see some new entries. Islam, Ilya, Pereira. I think Ilya will end up higher than Pereira just because I think he'll have two better wins. I think maybe Pereira loses a fight at heavyweight, so he won't move down much because he'll still have his belt. Because I think that's the thing we've figured out with pound for pound is it's basically just like fucking who's got the best title reign at that point, like thing. Let's be honest, apart from fucking Pantoja because they just disrespect him. But that's what I think it'll be. So if you hold your belt, you stay there, and it's like one fight you lose your belt, bang, you're moving down 10 spots. But Islam number one, Ilya number two, Portan three. I think Aspinall's going to beat Jones, which will get him higher. Honestly, I want to say Aspinall just ends up like number one because if he beats Jones, they might just give it to him. But probably not if Islam does win against Arman. Pantoja, I'm saying number five. Realistically, if he has the year that I think he will, which is another two defenses, ending up at five title defenses, he should be like number two or three. Like if the pound for pound list is what it's based off, like it's clearly like I think pound for pound is supposed to be like who's the most skilled fighter pound for pound, which Pantoja still would be higher than like a Pereira or even like an Aspinall in my opinion, like skill wise, right? Or even a Jones. But it's clearly just a legacy. It's not a it's a resume. It's like a current, like last 5 years resume shit. That's what it is. Because how the fuck was Izzy top five, like pound for pound until top 15 pound for pound until until the loss to Drickus, I'm pretty sure. Or like Leon is somehow level with Pantoja. Like it's just a resume based fucking bullshit. So that's why I kind of want to say that Pantoja won't even end up this high, even though he should end up higher. But yeah, I don't know who else. Jones, I think they'll still keep him higher because apart from like Volk, Leon, Izzy, all these guys when they lose their belts drop off. Oliveira, all these guys are way down the list now. Even though like Oliveira's had like two losses, Volk's had three losses, but to two like the top three pound for pound fighters. But I think if Jones loses, they'll still keep him like pretty high up there. Hamzat, Umar, Shavka. That's the three run of fighters who I think are going to win. Those are the three male champions that I think will be new champs, I should say. If you because I'm not including Aspinall, he's already the champ. But yeah, Hamzat, Umar, Shavkat. I think that'll be the order in which they have them on the list. Like if Hamzat goes out there, beats Dricus, I don't think it'll matter if he only fights once. They'll probably still have him, probably even higher. Like they'll put him above Fantoja Watch. But Umnar's pretty solid. These guys, Oliveira, I think they'll kind of fall off. And yeah, that'll do it though, guys. Hope you enjoyed. That's the pound for pound list. Those are the top 15 for every division predictions. We'll come back to this, and you guys can already just halfway through the year, you'll be commenting aged like milk. But anyway, see you later. Goodbye.